Hello and welcome to Young Minds versus Physics. In this video, we are going to discuss about electric charge and its basic characteristic properties. Okay, first, what is a charge? So when we talk about charge of a body or a charge, it is that basic property because of which an electric field is created, right? And simply saying, it is that which is related to electric field. Now when we talk charge in detail, like understanding charge at the basic level, so charge is a scalar quantity which we talk about a body as like mass. Any body if you take, you can talk about its mass and charge. So these two are the basic scalar quantities like in describing the body. See, suppose if you take a pen here, this pen, right? It is neutral, electrically neutral. It has some mass. Right, and if I rub this pen with some silk cloth, then it attains some charge. And you know that by using this pen, you can also make the small papers get stick to it, right? So therefore, that means it is now attaining some charge. So charge is that quantity which is related to electric field, as well as of course magnetic field. In the coming parts we are going to discuss about the magnetic effects also, right? So now, how do we talk about a charge, like whether a body is charged or not? Basic thing here is that the most fundamental thing is that all the bodies in the universe, we consider them to be neutral. Of course, the earth, if you take earth, it is neutral. Okay, like whichever object you are touching, it is neutral, right? Except once when we charge them or when we electrify them, right? So where to start from? Let us start from an atom. Suppose if I take an atom where there are 5 electrons, this neutral atom will also have 5 protons in it. If I take an atom which is having 2 electrons, then this is a neutral atom and it has also 2 protons. That means number of electrons is equal to number of protons in any neutral atom. And all the matter is constituted with these atoms. Right. Now, but we can create charge by disturbing this balance. Right. That means this neutrality can be disturbed by what we can do. The easiest way is like that electrons will be, right, shared, or electrons will be either removed or given to a body. So in that manner you can disturb this neutrality and thus you can charge a body. Right, let us suppose, okay, there is an atom with 5 electrons and you have 5 positive charges inside. If you are removing an electron from this, so this results in 4 electrons and 5 protons. And you know that the charge of electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. With the negative sign, conventionally we take it to be of negative sign and the proton as of positive sign. Okay, and now since the negative electron count is less in this, the dominating charge here is positive. It is dominating by one electron charge in magnitude, of course sign being positive. So therefore charge is like 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs of positive charge. And now if at all I am giving an electron to an atom, let us suppose that the atom here, neutral atom, is having 7 protons, that means 7 positive charges and 7 negative charges. Here Ne is equal to Np. But now here I am giving an electron to this one. And now here this accepted the electron and it has become like with 8 electrons and 7 protons. So what is dominating charge here? Negative charge is dominating here because 1 electron is more. So it is taking more. That means Till then it was like neutral. But all of a sudden there is an excess negative charge here. So thus the net charge is negative. Like this, bodies can be charged either by giving excess electrons or by removing electrons from the bodies. So this is how we can charge a body. So this is how we can discuss about the charge. So now when I say that a body can be charged, what is the net charge on the body? So the net charge on the body can be plus or minus number of either the electrons or protons multiplied by charge of the electron, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. In fact, it is 1.67 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Depends on if you are doing in numericals, sometimes we'll be taking it as 1.6 and sometimes we'll be taking 1.67. If it is specified, whatever charge is given, that you need to substitute, right? So, and why are we writing it so? Why are we talking only about electron charge here? See, in free state, that means free state in the sense you can take one electron or give one electron, right? The basic charge or the smallest charge that is there in this universe, which is in free state, is 1.67 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb magnitude, that is electron, charge of electron. So the electrons are in free state here. There are also other charges like charged particles, what we call them. Like you have the subatomic particles here as electrons. You have also other things, what we call them as quarks. Right? So we call them as quarks. Q-U-A-R-K. Right? So quarks. And these quarks, right? And these quarks, they have maybe like 1/3 of charge of electron or 2/3 of charge of electron, something like that. Smaller than the charge of electron. Definitely there are of course charges which are less than, that means the particles which are of less than charge of electron. But then why are we taking only electron charge as being quantized? That means the charge of the body is quantized in terms of charge of electron. That means as packets of charges. That means 2 electrons charge, 3 electrons charge, 5 electrons charge were integral multiples of E. Why are we taking it? Because this is the only charge which is in free state, where quarks are packed. They do not exist in free states. Therefore, we never talk about the transfer of a quark, but we talk about a transfer of an electron. Either electron is removed or an excess electron is given. So thus always we say that the charge of a body is quantized. How is it quantized? Into the packets, where the least packet is being E. And the next one 2E, 3E, 4E. That means integral multiples of E. Always there is nothing like 1.5E. Right? The charge on a body cannot be 1.5E or 2.3E. So these are integral multiples of E only. So thus we call that as charge of a body is quantized. Right? Clear? And now when you talk about like 1 coulomb is equal to 3 into 10 power 9 electrostatic units, these are the constants that you have to remember if at all it is needed. Right. So mass associated with body due to electrification. Now the point here is, so we are charging a body. That means either we are giving electrons to a body or we are removing electrons to a body. The point here is, does charge exist without mass? No, absolutely charge cannot exist without mass, but mass can exist without charge. That is absolutely, of course, yourself, myself, the cot on which you sleep and the door which you are touching, right? The clothes what you wear, all these are the masses that exist without charge. Without charge means the net charge being 0. Without charge means not without electrons and protons. Dear young minds, it is not without electrons or protons, but with a charge being 0. That means a neutral charge. So the mass exists without charge, but charge can never exist without mass. Very, very, very important point that you have to keep in mind. That means when you are giving electrons, that means you are giving some mass to the body. Fantastic. When you are taking out some electrons, that means you are removing some mass from the body. Now it is very easy for you to understand. When you give an electron, the body is getting negative charge and it is also getting more mass. And when electrons are removed from the body, then the body is getting positive charge and it is losing mass. So that means whenever a body is positively charged, right, its mass decreases because it is losing electrons. And whenever a body is negatively charged, its mass increases because of gain of electrons. Where mass of the electron, don't now again say that after charging it is weighing so heavily that we couldn't hold it. No, it is not like that. It is not in grams and kgs to measure like how much charge is increased. It's very, 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 very minute mass. Mass of electron is 9 into 10 power minus 31 kg. So minute, so negligible. So negligible. So we talk about all these things under microscopic levels, not on macroscopic levels. Okay? Alright. So please make a note that always charge exists only with mass. Thus, by giving excess electrons, mass is increased. By removing electrons, mass is decreased. Next characteristic is charge is a scalar. Yes. We always take the algebraic sum to find out the net charge. Suppose if you are telling 5 protons and 5 electrons inside an atom, what is the net charge? Net charge is here 5 E with plus sign and 5E with minus sign. Is it not? So that means they will get cancelled and therefore the net charge is 0. You are taking algebraic sum. It's only like that you are giving sign to the charge here, but not direction to them. Right? Don't think that a negative sign represents that something which is opposite, therefore it is having an orientation. Thus we have to verify whether it obeys laws of vectors or not. No, absolutely not. So this we are taking only the algebraic sum to find out the net charge, not the vector sum. These are scalar quantities, right? So suppose if you have 5 coulombs of a charge and then now this is brought in contact or something like we wanted to find a net charge because of 5 coulombs and minus 3 coulombs, the net charge is going to be 2 coulombs. So we are going to take only the algebraic sum here. Please remember, charge is a scalar quantity. Of course, mass is also a scalar quantity, but mass doesn't have negative sign. Mass is always positive. Mass is always positive, but charge is positive as well as negative. The next one here is charge is transferable and of course conserved. You feel like contrast, like one is what do we say, opposing the other statement? Like no. You are trying to understand this concept here. Suppose if the system is isolated. If the system is isolated, that means it is not in electrically in contact with any of the other systems. Total charge of the system is conserved. Maybe charge is transferred within the system. Maybe the charge is transferred within the system. Suppose if you take universe as a big system which is isolated. And this concept is a little bit tricky for you people to understand and even for all of us to understand and then come to a conclusion, because nowadays we talk about multiverse. The universe concept has been replaced by multiverse concept. Now suppose if we talk about the universe where we are existing and everything, if we imagine it to be the one which is isolated from the other verses, right? So therefore then the charge may transfer from one system to the other within this, but the net charge inside the universe is constant. The net charge inside the universe is constant. It is conserved, right? So that means charge is transferable, but at the same time it is conserved. You have to understand this, right? So now suppose if I say that I have put two charges inside a body, and brought into contact. So, but the net charge, one if it is positive and the other negative, maybe electrons transfer from one body to the other body, but the total charge is same in both together, right? So that is conserved there, right? So that's the meaning of it, right? Please make a note of this one. This is very, very important point. Charge is transferable, but at the same time it is conserved. Then the next one is charge is invariant. Means what? Suppose if you take, there is a charged body and it is carrying a charge of plus 5 coulombs, and it's not so easy. Okay, let me take it as 5 microcoulombs. 5 microcoulombs of charge is there on it, right? This charge remains the same, whatever may be the speed of the charge. Whether charge is at rest or charge is moving at a very, very high speed, whether the charge is getting accelerated, whatever may be the circumstance here with respect to the motion, charge remains the same. But when we talk about, right, so when you talk about light, defining light and all that, when we impart wave nature to the light and particle nature to the light, and we come to a conclusion there like mass, right? Like mass is different, rest mass is different, and the mass which is moving with that of speed of light is different. That means there we take mass to be increasing. Even though when we talk about charge and mass to be something like the basic properties of the substance or the matter, here we can see that charge remains the same. It is not going to change, right, with the speed. Right? Charge of a body is not going to change with the speed. Very, very important concepts, because while solving the problems, these are going to help you a lot, whether to calculate the change in the charge or not as you are calculating the change in the mass, right? So please remember these things, right? So now the next and the most important point is, what can charge do? Right, charge creates an electric field. Charge can also create magnetic field. The most important one is charge also can radiate energy. So it results in radiation. When and how? Right, see, when charge is only at rest position, it can only create electric field. You will not be talking about the magnetic field created by a charge at rest. So remember, if in the problem when you encounter the point that the charge is at rest, that means only electric field is created. Right. Now when the charge is moving, of course it is an unaccelerated motion. So when it is having unaccelerated motion, that means it is moving with certain velocity, then it can create also magnetic field. When I am saying also magnetic field, of course electric field is already existing. And here it can also create magnetic field when charge is moving. And how is the charge moving? Unaccelerated motion. And now if the charge is accelerated, or if the charge is having an accelerated motion, then it can radiate energy. It results in radiation. That radiation we call it as electromagnetic radiation. Yes, This is what we talk about light. One of the properties of the light, electromagnetic wave theory, right? So there we talk about so it is having electric field, it can create magnetic field, also it can give out electromagnetic radiations. Very, very, very important. A charge can also give radiation only at when it is having accelerated motion. Very important and interesting point. The next one is law of charges. Yeah, every one of you know it. I know very well that similar charges repel and dissimilar charges attract each other. Right? Now here, but see, whenever it is a charged body, it can attract another, an uncharged body. Not another, but an uncharged body. But when it comes to repulsion, a charge can never repel an uncharged body. Therefore, whether the given body, that means one is a charged body that you know already. If I give another body to you and ask you to test whether this is charged or not, right? That means when this is brought to the charged body, there is a chance that this will get attracted to this because of induction also it takes. That we are going to study right now, immediately after this topic, right? So now, this get attracted towards it, but repulsion is not possible between these two. That means between a neutral body and charged body, repulsion is impossible. But attraction is possible between a charged body and a neutral body. So therefore, what is the sure test whether the given body is a neutral body or charged body is only repulsion. So therefore, we always say that repulsion is a sure test for electrification. Right? Important. Yeah, you might have heard somewhere, somehow, that a soap bubble getting expanded whenever some charge is given to it, or in the process of electrification, the soap bubble expands. Why is it so? Right. So for that one, this is the concept. Charge always resides on outer surface. Right now, when you talk about, observe this one. I have some rectangular beam with everywhere positive charge. That means this is a positively charged body. This is a positively charged body. And if you observe this one, you have equal amount of positive and negative charges. That means it's a neutral body. Neutral body. And when you observe this one, you have negative charge all over. That means it is a negatively charged body. Right. So everywhere, it may be hollow or solid, but always charge resides on the surface of the body. We won't talk about the charge inside the body. Right? So this is very, very important. And because of this phenomena of the charge, or this characteristic of the charge, right? So the soap bubble expands on charging as such. Now suppose if you take that this is a soap bubble before charging and its radius is small r. Now what happened? By electrification, that means you are now trying to charge this one. So you have given some charge here and you can see that this positive charge is now on the surface. Now everywhere you can see this positive and this positive, they repel each other. This positive and this positive. That means in all possible directions now it is repelling with each other. So therefore what is happening? The surface is expanding like this because of the repulsion due to the positive charges that is accumulated on the surface of this soap bubble. Okay. So therefore now it expands and then let us suppose that after expansion, capital R being the radius of the soap bubble. Okay. So now the bubble expands. Of course, the pressure decreases as it expands. That we know very well. Anyhow, you will be studying this again in the surface tension concept. Why the pressure decreases as the radius increases. Right. So please make a note. Why soap bubble expands on charging is because charge resides on the surface and the other phenomena is the repulsion. The last one for today, methods of charging. Okay, so one is friction. You know, when one body is rubbed with the other, it is not possible with all, right? But there are like many of the insulators, like many of the substances which when rubbed together produces charges. And what kinds of charges are produced? And the bodies what you are taking are the neutral bodies. Of course, they acquire opposite charges. That means one body should be ready to give out electrons and the other body should be ready to accept electrons. That means one should be an acceptor and the other should be a donor. It is something like that. That means when you take such two materials or such two bodies which are neutral and they are rubbed together, then they will get positive charges. How many electrons are leaving the body? That much of Na positive charge is acquired by the first body. And when the second body is accepting those electrons, that much of negative charge is acquired. That means both the charges will acquire same magnitude of the charge also. Right? And then, but this kind of electrification is very weak. What we call as like the charges obtained by them are very weak. And as immediately as those two are brought in contact, they lose the charge. Right? They lose the charge. Right. So, and this is the basically how the charging taking place, like due to electron transfer. Like examples, if you take like a glass rod, right, and then rub it with a silk cloth, and then electrons will enter from glass rod to the silk cloth. So, when the glass rod is losing electrons, this gets positive charge, and the silk cloth is gaining the electrons, therefore it gets a negative charge. And also see that this is an insulator stand, and always we should not touch both the bodies like which are either getting charged or the charging body, because when we touch like that comes into contact with our body, and our human body is a very very good conductor, and thus that will pass through us and then through the earth. Hence the bodies will get neutralized. For these experiments or for this kind of electrifications or this kind of charging a body, you are not supposed to hold the bodies with your hands. Okay, right. So this is all about friction, right? Like that means when you rub one of the bodies with the other, and what kind of bodies they should be, like one should be ready to give out the electron and the other should be ready to accept the electrons. Now let us see the next one. Next one is conduction. Conduction means touch. Like one body should be brought in touch or contact with the other one. Right. So here what kind of bodies you are going to use? One is a charged body and the other one is an uncharged body. And what kind of charges are obtained? Acquire similar charges. Right. Suppose you have a positive charge. You are bringing a neutral body here. So when a positive charge is brought in touch with this, contact with this, what happens? This is positive. Why is this positive? Because it lost its electrons. So now as it is brought in contact with another neutral body, what happens? It tries to take the electrons into it. Right? So therefore it gives out the electrons and it starts losing the positive charge. The magnitude of the positive charge is here lost. And you can see that as it is giving out the electrons, it gains the magnitude of the positive charge. Hence, both will be getting similar charges. Both will be having similar charges. And hence, of course, they repel each other. And charged body loses charge here. Like this here, as it is gaining the electrons, it is losing the positive charge here. Okay, so this is how it works, right? So, this is a charged body, positively charged body, neutral body. As it is giving out the electrons, it is also attaining the positive charge. So this is all about conduction. Now let's see the next one. So the next one is induction. That means the charged body and the uncharged body both are at very very closer distances but not in contact. Induction means it is a process of charging a neutral body by bringing a charged body very close to it but not in contact. Once when you bring it in contact, that will become conduction, right? What we have just seen now, right? Now this is induction. So you have a charged body and uncharged body are the participants in this, right? And then next, this uncharged body acquires a dissimilar charge, right? And these two are not in contact, right? And here it is because of the displacement of the charges, right? And here the charged body is not going to lose the charge, and if they are brought closer again, they try to attract each, right? Attract each other, right? They try to attract each other. So like, let us see an example how it takes place, like, and like how the dissimilar charge is formed, right? Now let us suppose that this is a negatively charged body which is brought very close to a neutral body. So what happens here? See, because of the repulsion, all the free electrons whichever are there in the neutral body, they try to move away from the negative charge. So what is happening? First step is that the charges, that means here the electrons are displaced from here to here. So now see, initially there is no like transfer of electron taking place here. So what is happening here? As the electrons moved to this end, so what is that? So don't think that all the positive charges also moved here. No, it is something like that. In this place you don't have free electrons. That is, this place is deprived of free electrons. So thus you can see that the positive charge very close to this is a positive charge formed here, and far away from it you have, that means at the farther edge of the conductor or like this body, you have similar charge formed here. So now, if at all we earth this edge here, right, what happens? All the electrons will transfer to the earth at this point. So then finally what you will have here is that finally you will get an object which is like with the positive charges. That means free electrons vacates this one, right, vacates this particular charge, and then you have positive charge. So that means if when you are bringing a negative charge here, you are getting a positive charge due to induction. So this is how, because of the shifting, that is the displacement of the charge, that is in electrons, and thus like after earthing you can see that these electrons like will get removed from this and you will be acquiring positive charge here. So this is all for today. That if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, share with your friends, and this is going to help you a lot in facing your entrance examinations, boards examinations, and whatever may be the competitive examinations that you are going to write in your future. See you again.